out. We got it, sir.
Good. That's one less loose end.
Hello everybody and welcome back to the Tylord channel. This is part 2 of my Modern Warfare 2 Veteran Retrospective, where I will tackle the end of Call of Duty's greatest campaign and give my final review. If you haven't seen part 1 where I go through the first half of the game, it will be linked in the description and popping up on the screen now. Without further ado, let's get into it. Act 3 of the campaign picks up with Price, now being incorporated back into the 141, as he has a radical plan to accelerate the end of this war.
Shepard, are you willing to do what is necessary to win?
Always.
We got ourselves a pretty big fire. Gonna need a huge bang.
You've been in the gulag too long, Price. Focus on taking out Makarov.
No time, sir. We need to end this war today.
I'm not asking you, Price. This is an order. You're to...
Looks like we lost our connection.
The entire last act of this game is simply fantastic. Every mission is straight out of a movie with such unique gameplay styles and settings. Starting off with stealth in the middle of the Russian wilderness, we are equipped with a sniper and a pistol as Captain Price sneaks us towards the submarine base. We are surprised by a tank which forces us deep into the woods. We stealthily take down the patrols until I come up on a hill where I'm supposed to be able to use a Predator drone to take out enemies. Keyword, supposed to. I didn't realize that by sliding down the hill I got a checkpoint where the drone is unavailable without using it to actually clear out any enemies. It takes me 5 attempts to finally get through this section and arrive at the final assault, where I can actually use the drone, but only have 2 minutes to make it all the way through. Using the drone to clear a path as I dive behind cover after cover, I eventually reach a guardhouse to give Price cover as he enters the sub. The nuclear missile door opens, however, causing us to panic as Ghost screams.
The silo doors are open! I repeat, the silo doors are open!
Price has just launched a nuke at the United States to somehow save the day. Replaying the ending scene from our last segment with Ramirez, the screen once again goes to white as we go into the helmet of an astronaut aboard the International Space Station. I want to let the end of this cutscene play as it is easily one of the most iconic in Call of Duty history.
Houston, this is ISS.
That is definitely not how space works, but it was cool as hell. Activision wanted that astronaut dead, apparently. Back on the ground, the EMP from the detonation causes the sky to rain down helicopters and jets. The explosions rock around me as I run inside to take cover, noticing that even our sights don't work. Fully instructs us to move on, and I begin to clear out the inside of the buildings, not knowing whether ally or enemy waits behind any door. This mission is very short, only taking 10 minutes total, and serves mainly as a way to show the nuke detonation and move our squad to the bunker under the White House, and set up the finale of the stateside portion of the game. I emerge from the bunker to see the White House being occupied as the front lawn has become a battlefield. My squad needs to secure the house as it still has power and is a way to communicate with Central Command. I remember this section being way harder when I was younger playing on Veteran, but somehow I end up clearing the lawn and make it inside on my second attempt. I enter into the media area with a long hallway filled with Russians. As I am clearing my way into the main building of the White House, we hear speakers saying Command is going to bomb DC to destroy the occupying forces in 2 minutes unless we show a countersign. I make a mad sprint up the stairs, holding on the trigger to kill every enemy in my way, trying to stop our forces from getting bombed at the last second.
Countersign detected at Whiskey Hotel. Aboard. We got a countersign. Aboard mission.
Now finishing up the game exclusively with Task Force 141, we pick up with the mission Loose Ends. If you know, you know. Loose Ends is an incredible mission. Playing as Roach again, teamed up with Ghost, I am assaulting a compound deep in the Georgian mountains where Makarov could be hiding. Meanwhile, Soap and Price are at a boneyard in Afghanistan at the other location Makarov could be at. Making my way down the hill towards the estate, jumping landmines spring out of the ground as the squad is ambushed by RPGs on the cliffsides, mortar fire, and ghillie suit enemies using a large smokescreen to hide. I am able to get through this area pretty easily and take them all out with my ACR, which is by far my favorite gun in the game, and make my way inside the estate, hoping to take down Makarov once and for all. I decide to breach into the house from the basement. I breach the remaining downstairs rooms and clear out everyone posted up inside, eventually finding an armory with any weapon I could dream of. I head upstairs to clear out the final room and secure the estate. Sadly, Makarov is not there, but there is a gold mine of intel which we begin to extract very slowly as hundreds of Makarov's men bear down on the location. I decide to camp upstairs using my thermal rifle to attack the enemies at a distance, while using the ACR to hold the front entrance from the top of the stairs. The download completes and I need to make my way down a hill to the extraction zone, where Shepard is en route to pick us up. This part was actually quite challenging as there isn't much cover with enemies all over the place. I see the choppers ready to pick us up as I run straight into a landmine, knocking me to the ground. Ghost begins dragging me as I hold off the oncoming enemies. Shepard's men come to the rescue, and the rest is history.
You have the DSM. We got it, sir.
Good. That's one less loose end.
No!
Area is sounded. Girls, come in. This is Price. We're under attack by Shepard's men in the boneyard. So, hold the left flank. Do not trust Shepard. I say again, do not trust Shepard. So, get down.
Every time I play through this game, I never fail to get shivers on my body as Price cries out to not trust Shepard, and his betrayal sinks into my heart. Having to stare at Ghost while watching Shepard stand over me while we burn fills you with such a rage that makes what happens later that much more satisfying. The reason for this betrayal is that the information we acquired proved Makarov was behind the airport attack, and Shepard does not want the war to end until he can take him down and become the war hero he always wanted to be, taking us out right before we learn the truth of his treason. Shepard's betrayal is easily the most iconic moment in all of Call of Duty campaign history, and it's easy to see why. As a 10-year-old playing this mission, it was drilled into my core memories, the betrayal and watching Ghost die, that even looking back to this day, I remember the Modern Warfare 2 campaign so vividly because of this crucial moment, and set up Shepard as a great villain who feels so good to take down in the end. In the Boneyard, getting to once again play as Soap for the first time since the first Modern Warfare game, I am surrounded by Shepard's and Makarov's men, both of whom are trying to kill me. Nikolai is on the way to get us the hell out of here, but unfortunately for me, he is on the complete opposite side of the yard. This mission is quite difficult, and I die a few times trying to move as quickly and silently as possible. Price calls out to Makarov, dropping the quote, "Oh fuck."
You ever hear the old saying, the enemy of my enemy is my friend?
Price, one day you're going to find that cuts both ways.
We now know the location of Shepard, putting our focus on avenging our team, leaving Makarov to take down another day. Again, I want to note how nearly every mission in this game takes place in a very unique setting, jumping from DC to Afghanistan cities, favelas, snowy mountains, forests, and even a huge scrapyard. This is a huge improvement over World at War, which had a very limited difference in setting, and even over the first Modern Warfare that took place in essentially two areas. Back in the mission, I used the empty fuselages as cover to creep my way closer and closer to the runway where Nikolai is headed. After dying a few more times, I make it to a spot overlooking an opening, clearing filled to the brim with soldiers battling. I sprint past them, and as I'm about to enter the getaway vehicle, my hope gets cut short by a bullet to the back of my head. The next try, I do make it into the car, and shoot out behind at the trucks pursuing us while Nikolai lands his cargo plane on the runway. My driver gets shot, and I take the wheel and guide the truck into the ramp of the plane like I'm the newest member of the Fast and Furious. The penultimate mission to our story comes as Price and Soap have made their way to Shepard's secret base in the Afghanistan mountains. I start off stealthily, sitting on a ridge to snipe the patrol waiting down below. I make my way to a ledge, rappelling down in this cool sequence.
Do it.
I sneak inside the cave housing the base, while we still have the element of stealth before Shepard's men discover our presence. After clearing out the patrols, the bodies are discovered and all hell breaks loose. The patrol breaches the cave and assaults us, but I quickly dispatch them and head outside, making my way along the cliffside, equipped once again with the broken riot shield, making this part way easier than it should have been. I make it to the central control room and breach the door, accidentally setting off all the explosives my first try, killing us both in the blast. I successfully breach my next attempt and stop Shepard from destroying all his information and us. Heading outside, I get caught in an explosion, hearing that Shepard is calling in an airstrike at his location to stop our advance. He ends up doing nothing to us and wiping out his own men ruthlessly. I pursue Shepard into a cave where he is making an escape in a boat, since the incoming dust storm prevents any air vehicles from saving him. I want to let the intro to the finale play out, because it is, for lack of a better word, epic.
This is for the record. History is written by the victor. History is filled with liars. If he lives and we die, his truth becomes written and ours is lost. Shepard will be a hero, because all you need to change the world is one good lie and a river of blood. He's about to complete the greatest trick a liar ever played on history. His truth will be the truth, but only if he lives and we die.
Shepard races off in his boat, and I took too long, so he got away and the game is over. Thankfully, I get another try and hop in, getting to steer this little dinghy and have an automatic pistol I can shoot, while Price gets to sit up front and do literally nothing. I am not joking when I say this might unironically be the hardest mission in the game on veteran difficulty, which really says a lot about how easy this game has been, especially compared to the last 2 games I played. I die a few times in the narrow tunnels, but it really upon exiting to more open water where the test truly begins. In the open, there are multiple other boats chasing me down with pinpoint accurate sharpshooters and a helicopter that all I can do is try to avoid. I die 7 times over the course of this single area, and I try my best to learn a safe way through. I discover if I work my way over left and hide behind these rock formations and pillars, I thought they could give me enough cover to make it through, but after dying over and over, I eventually just got so frustrated that I just drove straight in the open on the right, and that's when I pushed through and actually got a checkpoint, pursuing Shepard further into the rapids of the river. Shepard makes his way to an escape helicopter and drives his boat right inside, about to make his grand escape. Price makes a miracle grenade launcher shot to take down the helicopter, but unfortunately for us, we did not bring a map and didn't notice the waterfall right in front of us and tumble over. I wake up from the crash a little dazed and confused, stumbling my way with a knife in hand to where I saw Shepard's helicopter go down. I mercilessly execute the pilots before I see the general running away into the dust storm, before stopping to lean on a car under the greatest map ever made, Rust. I go in for the kill, but get overpowered and thrown to the ground, getting impaled in the chest with a knife. But at least I get to listen to this dope speech.
5 years ago, I lost 30,000 men in the blink of an eye. And the world just fucking watched. Tomorrow, there will be no shortage of volunteers, no shortage of patriots. I know you understand.
Price barely saves our life, but man, Shepard looking like prime Tyson out there. I try to crawl to grab the revolver but get smacked. Then I sit and watch as Price is getting beaten down, leading to the most uncomfortable thing I have ever played through, and I hated this part as a kid because I just scream. But I have to pull the knife out of my own chest and get one of the most iconic endings in all of gaming. I lay there, slowly fading, thinking this is my own end as well, before Price gets his lazy butt up and helps me to Nikolai, who has come for yet another evac. The credits roll, leaving us on an optimistic cliffhanger that will pick up in Modern Warfare 3. Before I go into my closing thoughts, I want to briefly touch on the other two game modes that were in this game, that being Spec Ops and multiplayer. Modern Warfare 2 is the first game to introduce the mode Spec Ops, which contains bite-sized missions and challenges to do with a friend to a varying degree of difficulty. I remember me and my friend would try to get every star maxed out on every single level to say that we truly completed the game at the hardest difficulty, but some of those missions, especially the ones like killing juggernauts with only explosives and a knife, were just damn near impossible already, and playing those on hard mode was quite a daunting task. Overall, the Spec Ops mode I thought was great. There's 23 unique missions. There's a snowmobile time trial I brought up earlier that was fantastic. You can go back to Chernobyl and relive that from the first Modern Warfare game. There's multiple missions with the juggernauts that were introduced in this game, who were such an imposing enemy. And this mode just had some of my fondest memories playing through it. You could glitch out of the Chernobyl level, run around, explore the outside world. I'll show some footage here because that was actually really cool. And while not nearly on the same level as hype and popularity as the counterpart, which is Zombies, found in World at War and the Black Ops franchise, Spec Ops was still enjoyable in its own way and gave a pretty fun, nice co-op challenge. The multiplayer in this game is one of the most iconic in the entire franchise's history, and was where the game's popularity really exploded. Modern Warfare 2 sold over 25 million copies, and would continue to have a best-selling streak going forward. Trickshotting was truly born here and grew with the booming YouTube gaming scene. You had the clans, you had MLG montages, you had Optic, you had FaZe. This is where Call of Duty crafted and went into its niche identity. The maps of Rust, Terminal, High Rise are some of the greatest in the series and have now made return appearances and are still being played to this day. The balancing in this game was quite bad though, with noob tubing spawn points and a lot of people just camping or learning how to abuse the sniping, which was absolutely busted in this game, and rack up quick nukes. But overall, I really enjoyed this multiplayer and sunk a lot of time into it, just running around with my ACR in hand or an intervention and just having the time of my life. And nobody could ever take away the insanity that was these MW2 lobbies too.
Why don't you guys fucking learn how to actually play the fucking game and fucking shoot a gun, dog? Learn how to fucking shoot a gun, you freaking
Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 is one of my favorite games of all time, and quite honestly, could be the best in the entire series. The campaign is absolutely exhilarating from start to finish, as I fight on home soil for the first time and see two men manipulating the creation of World War III from the shadows. The characters are engaging, with Shepard and Makarov both making excellent and compelling villains coming from completely different angles. One coming from a devastating betrayal, and another the continuation of extremism from the first game. Price and Soap both return and go on such epic missions, making me feel like I am in a Mission Impossible movie rather than a Call of Duty game. I get to save the world with my boy Ghost as a companion, and Roach as a new playable character are great additions. And Ghost just looks hella cool, come on, like everybody thirsts over this guy. There's literally TikTok edits every single day about this man. Which makes his eventual death and that betrayal hit so much harder. This, along with seeing DC in ruins, shows how destructive this war already is, and really gives an emotional depth that was lacking from the first Modern Warfare game. The game is brilliant from start to finish and offers the most engaging experience compared to any other Call of Duty campaign. The run itself was easier than I would have liked, especially coming from World at War, which is the most difficult game in the franchise. Veteran difficulty on this game really only feels like something to slow you down, but if you even have a morsel of patience, it will feel simple. Overall, I love this game with all my heart, and it holds a special place in my nostalgia-filled head. I give it a 9 out of 10, with all the pros I just mentioned, and the only really negative being the weaker side mode and lack of difficulty. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe as I begin to work on the next video in this franchise, the first Black Ops game, which I am very much looking forward to as well. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Peace.